my faith has come from something that's so outside of material things that it doesn't matter to me. But it's fascinating, but it's like I don't need that anymore, because when I got to this place, it came from a place that's so, outside of this realm that it is whatever. But I find it interesting. When it comes to like the difference between, and I'm sorry if this is something everyone should know, but I don't. But like when it comes to this, like the Vatican versus the Orthodox Church, and I hear people saying this is the first church, and you have those arguments. What do you say to people being like the Vatican is the engineers of this false, religion or false world, false reality, and the Orthodox Church is the proper way?
Well, one thing I would say too, before to preface that, is I don't actually just want to always debate people on religion. It's just like, for whatever reason, that's the only thing that people want to debate me on.
What else do you want to debate? You throw it out there.
Multiple times where I try to have streams where I invite feminists, or I invite like people who don't believe in conspiracies, and nobody will ever come do it. But the only people who will come debate are the religious people typically. So it just seems to be the one thing that people actually just wanted to. But I'd love to debate other things. I'd love to debate a crazy feminist it just never happens for whatever reason. So for somebody that said, what would you say if, the Vatican is the real ancient Christianity? What's a little more nuanced than that, because Orthodox would agree that the first 1,000 years, roughly speaking, the Eastern and Western churches were the same universal Catholic Church. Okay. Where we disagree is over what happened in the late 1800s. Well, I mean, there's many areas of disagreement, but particularly in the papacy, it's the question of Vatican I. So Vatican I is the Roman Catholic Council that's dogmatic, where they said the Roman Catholic Church is the one true church, and it has always believed in the universal, inerrant, indefectible, infallible leadership of the Pope. And that's particularly what no Orthodox person could agree to. So what we believe is that there were bishops of Rome. There were many Orthodox great bishops of Rome in the first millennium of Christianity, but that we do not believe that he was ever accorded or given or had from Peter any kind of special universal power, universal jurisdiction, or infallibility. We believe that he had a certain role of honor in the councils, but that our church is what's called conciliar or synodal. So our governance of the church is councils and synods. It's not one dude who rules all the councils and synods. So that's a huge point of departure. And we have a different account of the first 1,000 years of Christianity. We see it as Orthodox. We see Rome as departing in the 11th century, when they started to claim all kinds of outrageous powers beyond spiritual stuff into what's called the Gregorian Reform period of the 11th century. This is when they started to say, we're actually the Kwisatz Haderach. Like, we are the Lisan al-Gaib. Like, the Pope is the God Emperor who all the emperors in the world must pay obeisance to. That's literally what it says. I mean, it doesn't say Kwisatz Haderach of Dune, but I mean, if you read Dictatus Papae, famously, it makes these outrageous commands and claims. And it doesn't just say you have to submit to the Pope to be saved. It actually says, by the time of Unum Sanctum of 1302, it says you have to believe in the temporal power of the Pope as a geopolitical ruler to be saved. Wow. But not just communion with Rome to be saved. You also got to believe in the temporal authority of the Roman bishop to be saved. That's Unum Sanctum 1302 by Boniface VIII. So we see that as a huge departure from 1100s of the Gregorian reforms to 1302 Boniface. It's a totally different Western. We call it the Franco-Papal, the Latin Franco-Papal Church. Different from the church of the first 1,000 years, which does have bishops of Rome, but that's when we see the departure.
Are there differences in terms of the way the Orthodox Church and the Vatican or other Christian sects see the afterlife?
There wouldn't be confessional differences on the basics, in the sense of, like, do we believe in the resurrection? Yes, all of the churches, Protestant, Orthodox, Catholic, would say profess the resurrection of the body. One area where we would disagree with Roman Catholics would be Roman Catholics have another idea that not just resurrection, but they believe in what's called the beatific vision, that the eschaton, the eternal state, is the intellect seeing the essence of God and being fully satiated by that vision. The Orthodox Church does not believe that. We do not believe that creatures will ever see the essence of God. We believe that we will have a personal relationship for all eternity with God, but it's a bodily resurrection, a new heavens and a new earth. There's nothing about like the mind peering into the essence of God. So that's a key difference between us and Roman Catholics about the eternal state. Protestants don't really tend to go into a lot of specifics about the metaphysics of the eternal state. They tend to just kind of focus on like, we believe in the resurrection, we believe in kingdom of heaven, it's a little more general.
Right. When it comes to the supernatural stuff, when it comes to ghosts or demons, where do you fall with that? Or do we have interdimensional beings passing through this, or do we have demons?
Yeah, Orthodoxy absolutely stresses. In fact, every baptism includes an exorcism in the Orthodox Church. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, so we don't have, like, Roman Catholics have this order of exorcists. We don't have that. We kind of have a more like every priest or even perhaps any Christian could do an exorcism. So there's not this like person called the exorcist.
Right.
So that's a little, but we do believe in exorcism. We do believe in the rite of baptism, including exorcism. So we do agree that there's demons, and they absolutely are involved in the world at 100%. So in that regard, we're not too different from Roman Catholics, but we don't have this like exorcist person. Or
can you describe what that looks like with the exorcism at a baptism?
It's not anything like, there's no like pea soup being vomited out. It's just it's just part of the rite. Like the ritual has sections to it. And there's a tradition of like the person who's being baptized wears a white robe. You kind of walk around the church. You go to the door of the church. You spit on Satan, and you spit out the church door as a sign of rejection of Satan. The priest reads the rite of exorcism. I don't remember I've been to multiple baptisms, but I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly what's said, but it's called the exorcism prayers. You can look up Orthodox baptism exorcism and it'll pop up. But it's not like, it's not like in the movie.
There's no cross being held over the baptism.
No, that is there.
Not like that, but like a person hissing and going crazy, like the movies want you to believe.
But does it work?
Now, I should be a little more precise here, because there are a couple priests, and I don't know these people, but I know of them. There is a priest who does specialize in doing exorcism in the Orthodox world.
Have you ever been to one?
But it's not,
Have you ever been to one? One of those straight up exorcisms? Yeah, me neither.
His name is Father George Aquaro, and then there's another David Patrick Carey, who's a buddy of ours. He just interviewed I think he's a bishop. I can't remember if he's a bishop or priest, but I think he does exorcisms as well. So there are priests that will kind of do it more than others, but it's not like they're like in the Roman Catholic Church. There's the guy who's the exorcist. It's
right.
Like that.
Right. Yeah, I believe there's a lot of people walking around who are possessed right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of people need an exorcism to clear it out. When we talk about stuff like UFOs or whatnot, are you thinking these are just our own military objects?
Oh, you mentioned, so I think that both things are going on. We've done a lot of podcasts and breakdowns of this. I think there is a huge psyop angle to UFOs and aliens, and I also think there's a demonic element to it too.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do tend to think that there is a reality to I guess you could say ghosts. In the Orthodox view, we believe that people, after they die, they are around us for a while. That's why in the Orthodox Church, you do prayers for the people who passed away, because we think they're still kind of with us for a while.
Is that like a purgatory?
That works. We don't exactly know. So
like is it like a purgatory?
No, Orthodox Church does not have purgatory. We have a totally different idea from Catholics. It's a little more nuanced but there's no like created fires that you pay your temporal debts or anything like that.
But the dead, you think, are lingering before they pass on?
There's a book called The Life of the Soul After Death by Father Seraphim Rose. That's kind of a classic on this from the Orthodox perspective. And yes, they're with us for a while. We don't exactly know how the time works that way, but
I've been to an Orthodox wedding. It was a Greek Orthodox. I don't know how similar Greek Orthodox is to Orthodox Christian.
Most of the Orthodox wedding ceremony is pretty similar. There might be minor differences, but it's pretty much throughout the whole Orthodox world. It's the same.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing with all the rituals, and there was a lot of.
Yeah, my wife and I, we had an Orthodox marriage with crowns.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. It was incredible. It was in a beautiful church. Well, dude, Jay, I appreciate you being here. Where can people who want to debate you, who don't want to debate religion, find you?
You can find me at Twitter under my name. You can find me on YouTube under my name. You can find me on Instagram under my name. I'm also on Rockfin, which is a great free speech-based platform. Put up a lot of content there. I also have my website, which has all of my lectures, talks, last 10 years of stuff archived at jaysanalysis.com. And then you can always find me Friday at the 4th hour of the Alex Jones Show. That's right. And I heard you're going to be at Bohemian Grove with our friends in Nephilim Death Squad. Yes, looking forward to that. And I will be performing my invented genre of music known as cringecore, which is absolutely retarded. What, can you give us a little hint of what that means? If you go, basically throughout the process of the years of live streams, I started randomly singing. This evolved into playing royalty-free beats and songs, which eventually turned into actual songs. And if you go to my YouTube page, there's a section of my songs, and that will give you a taste of what I do. Sick. So. Awesome. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you joining us tonight. Have a good one. Absolutely. Thank you, man. Later. Okay. Wild. Cool. I like praying for the dead. Yeah. I mean, I don't think about that enough. You don't? I think about the dead. I don't think about praying for the dead, though. I think I should do that more often. Yeah, a lot of that was over my head. There's a lot I need to read. Serious guy. I told you, Jay's intimidatingly smart. Yeah. And I don't know a lot of people who want to debate a lot. True. Yeah. Well, who wants to debate Jay? I certainly don't. But I think his information is really interesting. Yeah. And he's sent me down a lot of different rabbit holes since I've been listening to him and looking at his books. And they're super important, especially for people who've been listening to this show. A lot of the stuff we talk about, he's really dived into deeply. Yeah, you can tell. It's pretty incredible. And that book I was referencing, I think it was number 2, Esoteric Hollywood 2. He breaks down a lot of different movies and stuff. Yeah. And gives you I like to live in my movie bliss and not think about the world. Break it apart. See the real truth. Oh my God, we saw Beetlejuice last night. It's so bad. Is it? My thought was I'm just ready for 2024 to be over. I'm ready for the actual decade to be over. So we can have a cultural revolution. And now you're telling me that cultural revolution? What, you now? Well, no, yeah, something different. We need new art. We need better entertainment. So but now the CIA is involved. So the CIA probably wrote the new Beetlejuice too. Something we talked about on the culture the other day with Tim was, we were talking about that movie, City of Freedom, that has supposedly been suppressed in theaters, and we had that guy on who did the movie, and we were talking about other movies that are out, and I said Beetlejuice, and the movie this guy came here to talk about was about child trafficking, and just horrible things done to children, which unfortunately are happening a lot, and unfortunately happening in Hollywood. And I'm like, well, the guy Jeffrey Jones, who's one of the main guys, the father in Beetlejuice, the first one. Yeah, He was accused. I guess he had a plea deal and all this stuff. So. Well, I didn't even know. I was like, what happened to the guy? And but he's in the movie, right? Isn't his character? Well, I mean, he's headless. He's not. Oh, funny. Yeah, no, okay. That was kind of funny. His character's there. Yeah, he's not in the movie. Yeah, and I don't even know why they felt the need to do that, but that's another conversation. How is Beetlejuice himself? Michael Keaton? Yeah. He's great. I mean, he's great. There was too much story. There was too much going on. I felt like. Right. It could have started an hour in and been a better movie, but man, it's too bad. That's one of my favorite movies. I mean, there's Beetlejuice brings in he had a wife, and it kind of gives you more of a backstory of Beetlejuice. Right. Some of that was interesting. Oh, geez. But it went nowhere. Our couch that people can't see over there, that our in-person guests. When I look at that couch, I always think that's the couch that Beetlejuice sits in when he's in the waiting room for the afterlife. Oh yeah, because it looks loud. And it's the guy with the little head at the end of the frame. He's right there right now. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, they bring him back, but it's too much of it. Yeah, he's like a character now. But it's not even just one. There's many of them. And it's just it's just too much. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just we should have left that alone.
Yeah.
I don't see any.
I mean, I would have been okay with if it was like written better and edited better.
Yeah, that's too bad. Any weird things happening this week? Have you been mostly safe, other than the headlines?
Oh yeah, being a Russian spy.
Oh man.
Yeah. What did you guys were circling around that conversation a little bit?
Yeah.
I was like, this is a touchy subject.
Yeah. I was thinking about when we were talking about the CIA and stuff. I'm like I don't know anything. I just people see headlines, and I have people who are like family who are totally unplugged from the political world, all mainstream, corporate, indie, whatever, and they're hitting me up, or like, leftist family members who are like, oh, we knew all along. Like, I think there's a war on your perception of people who are subversive, and we don't know anything
scary,
yet.
and alarming.
We'll see. It's a new week dawns. And we'll see what this new week brings.
Let's just hope we're back next week.
We'll be. I'm gonna beam myself in.
You're gonna beam in.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. I won't. I'm gonna be the head, just a little tiny head.
That'd be a good Halloween costume over there. Where can people find you? Even though you're not always on Twitter.
I know, because I shut my mouth. You know what I'm talking about? I just keep it quiet. I am Alex Ayala on Twitter.
You should use it more often.
I should?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna. I don't want to be in trouble.
No, it's fun.
I don't.
It's fun. I sleep well.
I get canceled as soon as I post the one thing. That'll be.
Last week I told you I almost hit a vulture.
Yeah.
Almost again on the way here.
Really? See vulture?
That's a sign. This vulture had white legs.
Oh.
The last one had like red legs. The red legs might have been from blood, so I don't really know.
Lovely.
But yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in. You can find me at Cashman everywhere. We'll see you all next week.